Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on Our News.
Union leaders weigh in on the chaos at BPL.
Gaming operators warn that increased taxes could mean less corporate giving. That story straight ahead.
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Find out how one family is helping to raise awareness about the disease.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. A police officer is dead tonight after he was shot in front of his daughter outside a high school this afternoon. Assistant Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando told reporters the officer and his daughter were sitting in his blue Hyundai outside H.O. Nash Junior High waiting on his son when a gunman demanded that they exit the vehicle.
Eventually, the culprit fired a shot. He was hit to the body. The gunman pulled him out of the car, got into the car. At this time, his daughter had already exited the car and ran for assistance. The culprit drove off in the officer's vehicle. He was on duty, just slipped out to pick up his son.
Traffic was backed up for hours after the shooting, and parents eager to pick up their kids were rerouted. Police then went on a high-speed chase through numerous communities, including the Rock Crusher area, in search of the suspect who reportedly ditched the vehicle through a corner off Farrington Road. It was recovered a short time later. The victim, we understand, is Inspector Carlos Blatch, the aide to the Governor General.
Please come forward to assist in trying to identify this individual. He don't need to be out next hour. So we are on a manhunt at this time. Everybody is out trying to find this individual, and we will find this individual. All we could say is a dark individual, appeared to be very young and slim built, about between 5 feet, 5'6", somewhere around that area. He was wearing dark clothing.
Well, the Minutes administration is expected to be in full control of the Grand Lucayan on September 19th, according to Hotel Corporation Chairman Michael Scott, who met with employees of the Grand Bahama-based hotel this morning. Though government is buying the $65 million hotel to save 400 jobs at the Grand Lucayan, 50% of those workers have requested voluntary separation packages. This as government begins screening potential buyers.
We will ensure that they are fair, that fair treatment is accorded, that no one will be in any way prejudiced as a result of the transition, that it will be seamless.
Employees of the Grand Lucayan filed into the hotel this morning for a meeting with Hotel Corporation Chairman Michael Scott on government's plans for the property. Following that meeting, Scott told us it was important for those workers to understand where government is with the $65 million purchase.
Effective the 11th of September, we have acquired operational control of the Grand Lucayan Resort and Casino. We wanted to just assure the staff that the business really continues as before, that nothing changes.
President of the Commonwealth Union of Hotel Services and Allied Workers, Michelle Dorset, called the meeting positive. She said the union submitted recommendations to the government on voluntary separation packages, but added it's up to the government to do the calculations. So far, she says 50% of Grand Lucayan staffers have requested VSEPs.
Last time we had our accounting did calculated everything in the years and people's their pay scale. We actually had a proofread. We actually had people proofread their stuff on the 15th of August, and then we do a few changes. Now the government got the documentation, and now it's up to them to do the calculation and make sure everything is in detail and correct.
She said she was informed by Scott that on September 19th, government would be in full control of the shuttered hotel. On that day, the Prime Minister is expected to speak on the purchase and bring a resolution to Parliament. But what exactly is government taking on in this deal? Back pay for the 400 employees, severance packages, gratuities, and the possible cost of any renovations. But Scott insists government isn't looking to hold on to the hotel for too long.
I highlighted what the plans are of the government in terms of the looking of promoting the property for sale and that reiterating that the government is not in the business of operating hotels, that it is a catalyst.
And now Scott says government is going through proposals from potential buyers in hopes of finding the perfect fit for Port Lucayan.
And we are looking at investment proposals and screening them and considering their viability and suitability for this particular product.
Leaders of Bahamas Power and Light's two unions say a come-to-Jesus moment is the only way to address ongoing issues that have led to 3 fires at the Clifton Pier power plant and frequent blackouts. Paul Maynard and Anthony Christie say the company is crippled after hundreds of key employees took advantage of VSEPs earlier this summer. They now say up to 100 employees need to be brought back on contracts. Jasmine Brown reports.
Both men were candid in their comments as they insisted mistakes were made in the VSEP process, and they say as a result, the Bahamian people are suffering.
It'll probably get worse before it gets better.
Why do you say that?
It always does. It always gets worse before it gets better. But I mean, you know, you have to recognize the fact that, okay, with this VSEP, I made a mistake. And you know what? Okay, let me sit with the union. We sit with the 2 unions and let's decide, all right, where we can go from here. And that's what needs to happen. You need to have a come to Jesus moment.
Bahamas Power and Light announced the VSEP exercise in May and invited any of its 1,038 employees to apply. Then in mid-July, Public Works Minister Desmond Bannister revealed the power company would pay out $70 million to 314 employees who accepted VSEPs. As of June 30th, BPL paid out $56 million to 219 employees. Bannister said separation dates were staggered to ensure that the company's efficiency is not negatively impacted. But according to the union chiefs, their worst fares have been realized, as Christie pointed to issues at Clifton Pier. He says the truth is proper assessments were not done.
A VSEP should be done in a more structured way so that you can assess what your needs are, who wants to leave, who's definitely eligible to leave. And then once you have those numbers, you can see where you need to fill the gaps. But to open the floodgates, we've seen the effects of that now.
Maynard says according to union estimations, at least 50 to 100 former BPL employees need to be brought back on contract, if only to train other employees.
You know, possibly. You have to bring them back on contract. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to bring them back because you need to transfer knowledge. And you know, you transfer, and the transfer of knowledge don't take 6 months. The transfer of knowledge takes 18 months more like it. That's what it is. And if you want to make the 2020 deadline, the June 2020 deadline, you need to bring those people in this month, as a matter of fact.
With the Atlantic hurricane season at its peak, Maynard says BPL is not adequately prepared to handle a major storm given its current staffing levels.
I mean, if a hurricane rolls through right now, you have to bring out your whole line contingent, your whole overhead line contingent in order to deal with it. And see, this, the fear I have is that, you know, a lot of these guys, they're off and they doing what they want to do. You know, the question will be, will they come back? And now you're in problems. When you could have kept them until December or phased them out 30 at a time or 20 or 30 at a time, you just phased out everybody one time.
Maynard says while he and Christie do not want the company to fail, the facts are the facts, and the fact is BPL is in crisis. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks, Jasmine. Well, she woke up as Miss Grand Bahama, but tonight, a young woman is without a crown and a title after a controversial Instagram post sparked a social media firestorm and reignited debate over the touchy subject of Haitian-Bahamian relations. Giorgio Bain reports.
It all started with an Instagram post. Miss Grand Bahama Evelyn Gibson posted a photo of herself on Instagram with the caption, "Ha ha, not a Bahamian, sorry, too gorgeous to be, big up to my Zoe." This caption was followed with several Haitian flags. Within hours of that post, Bahamians savaged the teen queen on social media and called for the Miss Grand Bahama Beauty Pageant organization to strip Gibson of her title and crown. One person wrote, "Her crown should have been taken away whether she apologizes or not. If she's not proud to be Bahamian, why participate in a Bahamian pageant? She should have gone to Miss World to represent Haiti." Another person posted, "She should be relinquished of the crown. It shows where her loyalties lie. I have nothing against Haitians, but this one is a no-no. I would encourage the committee to do the right thing. This is very serious." The pageant organization initially came to Gibson's defense, explaining that the 17-year-old was not doing well as a result of the criticism. The teen queen also attempted to calm down critics, posting, this apology on social media. I am a Bahamian, yes. People were telling me foolishness to set me up. I must say social media is the devil. She concluded, once again, I sincerely apologize, but don't make me feel worse than I already am. However, that apology only seemed to infuriate some Bahamians who called her comments careless. By early this afternoon, the Miss Grand Bahama Beauty Pageant organization had released a second statement announcing the reigning Miss Grand Bahama 2018 has relinquished the crown. Pageant advisor April Crowther-Gow says the controversy has taken a toll on Gibson.
We have so many irons in the fire that we need to deal with before we can make any more official information. But we are concentrating on the Miss Grand Bahama Beauty Pageant 2019. We have a lot of house cleaning to do, and we have a young person to make sure that she's okay.
Gibson initially placed third in the Miss Grand Bahama pageant held last October with 5 contestants. However, she was eventually crowned after the Queen and the first runner-up gave up the crown. Reporting for Our News, I'm Georgia Bain.
Still to come on Our News, UB's push for international accreditation, plus 3 students receive full 3-year scholarships. Stay tuned.